We have Adam here. Hey, Adam, can I ask you a few questions? I was just wondering if you, yep, sure, if you could tell us a little bit of history of these horses you've got here.
So all these horses here are from the Brislan bloodlines, and the Cayuse Ranch actually is 30 miles that way.
Okay.
And they are the first people back in the early 1900s that started preserving what was left of the old Indian pony.
Okay.
You know, in the early 1900s, they called these Mustangs.
Hi, baby.
And so that's why they continue to call them, even though there's nothing really similar to, hey, we don't do that. They're not the same history as the BLM.
The BLM Mustang. So what would you call these horses?
These are Spanish Mustangs.
Okay.
A lot of people call them barbs. Again,
Okay.
It goes back to the 1800s. People called these barbs because genetically where their blood comes from is Africa.
Okay.
Because the Spanish and the Africans, the Moors, were fighting. And so Spain basically took over all of the Moor horses. And because when the North America was getting settled or whatever, the Spanish government said you can't send any more Spanish horses. They have to be from other places because we're thinning the mainland herd too much. So that's why they ended up sending all these African horses over here, and or African blood. And then also, let's see, none of these guys in particular do.
Okay.
But there's other horses. Let's see. Yeah, none of these guys. But some of the horses in the herd out there, their maternal line, you can DNA test that, and it goes back to the horses of the Soraya horses, which are a mountain range in between Portugal and Spain.
Oh, wow.
And actually, like, there's not an example here, but one of my horse, Bratley, his full sister actually got sent back to Europe because there was only 200 of those Soraya horses left.
Oh, wow.
Those wild horses.
Wow.
And so they sent him back, or her back, it was a female.
Okay.
And she actually carried the matriarchal DNA.
Wow.
And so that's why, and also they look very
similar. Cool. And what's so special about these horses?
Mostly what's special about these horses is their mind.
Mm-hmm.
These horses have something different in their mind that is not really common with most horses, and or any, and but anatomically, what's special about them is, see this bone right here?
Yep.
How it's round? It's round.
Okay.
Versus in a domestic horse, it'll be oval.
Okay.
And so what that means is they can take a tremendous amount of weight, and that's one of the reasons why the endurance people use them so much. Also, if you look on this girl here.
Oh. Okay, hang on. We're looking at somebody else.
Or any of them for that matter, but you look at how deep their chest is.
Oh, yeah. Like, you were saying that.
You know, you see their neck goes down their chest, and their neck is kind of one solid line here.
Okay.
And similarly up here, this is all one line. So there's really, like, everything from up here all the way back down, it's all one line. And so what I think about, what that shows me is that there's ease of movement. Like a smooth flow of chi is what what you're actually. So that's something that they really offer. They also have one less vertebrae typically, but that's something that they used to think that it was just something that was specific to these ponies.
Okay.
But it's not so much. You'll find it kind of scattered about, and it is a genetic thing for sure, but it's not as tightly wound. Like you could have a couple of 6 vertebrae horses, and they would have a 5th, or it doesn't make as much sense as we would like to think. So it's not really. But they were actually, up until the 1960s, they literally had every horse that had died. They had gone and examined it, and if it didn't have the lesser amount of vertebrae, they wouldn't breed any of that line.
Oh, wow.
So they were really, back into, the 80s, they were very, very, very picky about what horses, and like as far as like color patterns and stuff like that, like any sort of hint at outside blood, and they culled it.
And are you talking about the Brinslon?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, anyone that was doing preservation work, and up until the 90s.
90s. Cool.
And
well, I'm gonna leave you alone right now with the babies, and I'll catch up with you later. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good game, huh? That's a good game. Oh, yeah.